Hello and welcome back to another Can Ken Conquer video. I'm Ken and Hello and welcome back to another Can Ken Conquer video. I'm Ken. Lemuria, what are you doing? Hello and welcome back to another Can Ken Conquer video. So I'm Ken and this is the second episode of the Can Ken Conquer Bodybuilding series. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking on 5 things that I've learned so far on bodybuilding. But in today's episode, we will actually talk on marriage and how this whole process has affected myself and my wife and what we've done to make sure that it doesn't affect us negatively. That'll be the last point we'll be talking on today. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video to see what advice myself and my wife have on how to make sure that if you're competing in bodybuilding, it's not going to negatively affect your relationship. So just before we get started, I just want to put a quick disclaimer in, as these are 5 things that I've learned personally on my journey to my first ever bodybuilding show, and they might not necessarily apply to everyone. So if anything I go over in this video is something that you do, or if you do something differently to the way that I'm doing it and the way I'm going over in this video, drop down in the comments below and just let me know. Coming in at number 1, we have the importance of meal prep. What you could do is you could plan out your meals for the entire week, everything that you're going to eat, and basically just stick to that and freeze the second half of the week and throw it in the microwave, and then there you go, you have everything ready and everything prepared. So I take a slightly more minimal approach to that. I just prepare my 5 meals that I'm going to be eating and bringing into work with me. That just takes out that factor of having to spend 30 minutes at night preparing your lunch for the day after, and instead just spending 30 minutes on a Sunday preparing those 5 meals for your work week. So typically how I do that is I just have 2 or 3 different types of meals that I just prepare in bulk. A typical one, like what I'm doing right now, I'll show you, is I've got 3 pounds of beef in here and I've thrown a lot of seasoning into that. And then over here I've just got a bag of vegetable medley, and I'm just going to put that into my steam pot here, my Instapot, and 20-30 minutes, and then you have 5 meals kind of ready for the week. And then you can add sauces and salsa to this. I'll then bring in some snacks with me into work as well to have a nice round balanced meal there that's going to hit a good bit of protein, fats and carbs and just set you up perfectly for the rest of the day. So the days I've found and the weeks that I've found that I haven't meal prepped have been much worse than the weeks that I have meal prepped. And when I have meal prepped, I've made so much more progress and I've felt a lot better. I've had more energy. So number 1, meal prep. It's really going to set you up to have a nice successful week. So in at number 2, we have, when you have your flexible cardio, make sure you try and get it done earlier on in the week. Otherwise, you'll be out here doing sprints Sunday night at like 9:30 at night, and it's just not going to be very fun. And yeah, so make sure you just plan your cardio much better and get it done earlier on in the week. And this will tie into one of the points I'll have later on in the video, which is all about planning. Make sure that you're planning your week ahead and that you stick to that plan to make sure that you get everything done. So I'm going to continue off here. Get this done. 3 more to go. Okay, back to the house. So the third thing that I've learned about bodybuilding so far is personalizing your macros to make sure that they fit your needs. So I've gone with a higher fat and lower carb diet this week. I found I was having cravings for fattier foods and I wasn't necessarily craving the carbs. Towards the end of the day, I was actually filled up on my fats, and I was actually just finding food sources to fill up on the carbs that I hadn't eaten throughout the day because I hadn't kind of tended towards those food, and if I haven't planned it out very well, I was chasing towards the end of the day to hit those carb goals. So I worked with my coach, told him what was going on, and he gave me new macros that have the higher fats and the lower carbs. So this just shows the benefit of having a coach over, say, just buying a diet plan online that somebody else made that kind of works for them. Because, for example, something that works for me isn't going to necessarily work for say, somebody else out there. So it's a great benefit of having that coach there, that you can work with them, that they can tailor your macros to make sure that they work best for you. So after I've switched up my macros, I've done that last week, and I've had a whole week of this new higher fat macros now, and I found that my weigh-ins are more consistent. I've more sustained energy throughout the day. I don't have any crashes. I feel my cravings are all being fulfilled. So I'm not I feel like it's very easy, this diet. I don't feel like I'm really struggling at the moment because I don't have those cravings anymore. Whereas before I got these macro changes, I was having some cravings that I was struggling with a little bit to try and stay on my diet. So that's put this all right into check. And yeah, so the biggest takeaway is cookie cutter diet plans and macros and nutritional plans aren't going to work for everybody. They're only going to work for a very select few people. So it's very important that you customize your macros to make sure that they fit your needs. So in at number 4, as you could probably see, is sleep. So there's so many studies out there which strongly suggest that sleep plays such an important role in not just athletic performance, but in your everyday life. So what sleep does is it can boost your mood, which will give you better motivation to get you in the gym and get those workouts done and hit them hard. As well, they play a huge role in the release of growth hormones and also regulating the stress hormone cortisol. Also, if you're getting the recommended daily amount of sleep that your body needs every day, you're a lot less likely to get injured and to get sick, which over the course of a prep can have a massive impact. So if I was to rank them myself, I'd go nutrition number 1, sleep in at number 2, in at number 3 would be your training, and then after that, everything else like supplementation, etc, etc. So if you want to make much more progress in the gym, make sure you're getting those 8 hours sleep every day. So in at number 5 of 5 things I've learned so far about bodybuilding is balance and planning. So finding the balance in your work life, in your relationships, in your personal life, it's so important because doing a bodybuilding competition just takes up so much time and dedication. But it's still important to make sure you have that balance, that you aren't just shunning out the rest of your life. So how this balance is achieved is through good planning. So in work, making sure that you have all of your meals prepared at the weekend for the work week that's going ahead, so that you're not running to the vending machines and picking up quick snacks, and then you're having to catch up on your macros towards the end of the day, eating high protein, terrible meals. I've been in the situation where you're just eating tuna on its own. It's not very nice, and that just stresses you out even more. So being planning with your meals going into work, in your relationship, and more importantly in the situation of like a marriage. So myself and my wife, we've actually had a couple tiffs when she has an idea of what the day looks like in her head and I have an idea of what the day looks like in my head, and then we towards the end of the day, when we're saying, oh, this is my plans and this is her plans, they don't match up and we end up having a bit of a tiff. It's just not ideal, and it can really put a strain on the relationship. So we caught that very early, and what we do now is we plan out the week and we tell each other what our weeks look like ahead. So that way we know what we're going to be doing, when we're going to be doing it, and then we have that personal time with each other nearly every day, just to make sure that you are keeping those relationships all good and healthy. In your personal life as well, making sure if you're heading out at the weekend, myself and my wife, we like to do a lot of camping and a lot of hiking. So if we are going to be heading away camping for a day or two, making sure I have my macros in check, that all my meals are going to be prepared, or I have the right foods to be able to hit my macros. Making sure that with your workouts and your cardio sessions that you know you're going to be heading out for the weekend, so you plan all of those early on in the week. You get your workout sessions done. You don't go into a weekend having 2 workout sessions and 2 cardio sessions left, and then you're just busting your balls for those last 2 days to get those done. So again, just on the planning aspect of that. And then on like your personal life and your relationships a bit more as well, making sure you're not shutting out friends and family. If anything, Increase the communication over this period. Make sure you're reaching out to your family a bit more, reaching out to your friends, still being in communication, and talk to them about what you're doing. Just let them know and let them understand the process that you're going through, and hopefully they'll be all open-minded, and they'll understand, and you can keep those relationships nice and strong and nice and healthy. So I hope you enjoyed the video. That was 5 things that I've learned about bodybuilding so far, and I know there's going to be a lot more learnings to come throughout this journey, as I've got 12 weeks left until my competition. So if you would please just hit that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, just to make sure you don't miss out on any videos leading up to my competition, which, as I mentioned, is in 12 weeks on the 10th of October in Sugar Land, Texas. It's going to be my first ever bodybuilding competition, so I hope you just follow along this journey with me as I get more and more knowledge on this topic and on this subject and on this sport as I progress through the weeks. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.